Hi everybody, it's Matt from Quantum Trekkers, and I want to talk to you about something that's very near and dear to my heart, and I kind of struggled with what to call this video, so I guess for now I'm going to call it Practical Everyday Magic and Reimagining What It Means to Be Human. And basic theory of this is that I want to show that if you're present and paying attention, that you will realize that you have some amazing abilities right now, and that we can reimagine what it actually means to be human. Okay, first off, I want to talk about altering time. Okay, and specifically I want to talk about slowing down time and how right now we can all slow down time. Okay, and well, how would you do that? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you how we do that. Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples first. Okay, I learned how to slow down time at a very young age. I first learned how this worked in the game of baseball. Okay, specifically playing catch with my friend, and he threw a baseball about eye height, and it happened to be traveling a little bit faster than I had anticipated. And I'll never forget, I felt something happen in my heart, and next thing I knew, the baseball just slowed down and started to just tick, tick, tick. Meanwhile, I had plenty of time to think about it, observe it, just with ease, raised my hand up, caught the baseball. I said, wow, if I could make that happen every time, I could catch anything that was ever thrown to me. And that put me on the path to trying to understand better how this all works. And I started to be able to take advantage of this in the batter's box. I think anybody that plays baseball at one time or another stumbled upon the fact that the fastball pitcher a lot of times will trigger a time slow event where the faster he throws, in essence, the slower it goes. And yeah, next thing you know, you have a reputation in the game for, hey, don't throw the fastball at that guy, okay? Because you're crushing it, okay? Now, people that don't play baseball, let's give you some examples. You drop something, and have you ever dropped something? You oh no, and you feel that thing in your heart, and all of a sudden it's like it's not falling at normal speed anymore. It's falling much slower. I mean, you might even be able to like make some miracle save. You stick the toe of your foot out, oh, boom, break its fall with your foot. I mean, who knows? You have so much time to think about it now. Where did that time come from? Well, you slowed down time. Okay, car crashes. I mean, God forbid you're in a car crash, but once again, we have these amazing abilities, and car crashes quite often trigger time slow events where now you have plenty of time to think about what's going on. You can resettle, readjust your hands, make any last second preparation that you need for a crash that literally happened in the blink of an eye. Okay, now, how do all these things take place? Okay, there's an intense amount of focus that takes place during a slow time event, and then there is an emotional investment. In the instance of the baseball, I really wanted to catch that baseball, and also I'll be honest with you, there probably was just a spark of fear there too. It was kind of head high, eye height. It's traveling faster than I anticipated. I don't want to get hit by that baseball. I really want to catch that baseball. Next thing I know, time slows down to allow me to easily catch that baseball. One of the easiest catches I made that day. Okay, dropping things you really didn't want to drop. If it was something you don't care if it fell or not, you're not going to go through a time slow event when it drops. If it's something that you really, really didn't want to fall off of that counter, I guarantee you, time slows down as that object falls. Now, whether or not you had time to actually realize and take advantage of that or not, well, that's yet to be seen. Maybe now that after this, watching this video and hearing this discussion, maybe now you can take advantage of these when they come up, because you honestly don't even need instruction. You just need to be aware. We can all do this. Okay, so now we're going to go to speeding up time, okay? Because if I can slow down time, I can speed up time. How do I speed up time? Well, there's ancient wisdom in all of this. We all know how to speed up time. When does time fly? Time flies when you're having fun. Okay, so, excuse me, having fun, being in the zone, that in the flow. Okay, you're at work. You are just you're in the zone. You're not thinking about your cell phone. You're not thinking about, you know, anything. You're doing your job. Things are clicking. Stuff's happening. You're being very productive. Next thing you know, break time. You look up, lunch. Boom, time to go. All your work's done. You never felt rushed. Everything just, you sped up time. You weren't watching the clock. You weren't, oh my gosh, you know, how much longer? When's break time? Okay, so I would argue that you know, in essence, you're in the same zone when you slow down time as when you speed up time, but you get a different result from the same place. So how does that happen? Okay, well, in the time slow example, it's you making a separation from the flow of time around you, and then you adjust your internal clock, and in essence, time slows. In the time speed up, you've harmonized with your surroundings. It's now we're in the team game. Okay, you want time to speed up, you got to go with the flow. You got to be in the zone. You can't be thinking about your phone. You can't be staring at the clock. You got to be in the flow. Time will speed up. Okay, so then time stop. Okay, time stop events. Incredible amount of intense emotional energy has to be expended, in my experience, for a time stop event. I've only witnessed a time stop event a few times in my life. I've never been able to recreate one using these techniques. I'm sure that if you studied this intensely, you could do it, but I know that you would have to use an intense amount of emotional energy and focus to recreate this at will. Basically, anyone that's witnessed a time stop event in their life knows what I mean. It's like a death in the family situation, terrible accident. It's usually a very intense emotional event. Anyone that hasn't witnessed one, no explanation would really make you understand. They're usually life-changing events, and nothing's ever the same after a time stop event. Okay, moving on. We're going to go to ESP and telepathy. Finishing each other's sentences, thinking about someone, and they message you, or you know, you see them later on that day. Just you know, knowing what someone's going to say before they say it. This happens more and more frequently, I think. Have an interesting example I can share. Just working with a friend of mine. We're in a we're in a job where basically you can't do a lot of verbal communication. You can't hear each other because of machine operating and hearing protection, and we work in that close environment together. And then on a ride home, he's telling me about a movie that I've never seen, and he's describing it to me. And as he's describing me this movie, he starts to talk about a particular actor, and he doesn't recall the name of this actor that played a role that I'm not familiar with in a movie that I've never seen. Then as he's doing this, and he kind of stumbles and doesn't know the name of the actor, I can instantly see a picture of this person's face in my head, and I tell him the name of the actor, and he says, I don't know, I don't know who that is. So he doesn't actually even recognize the name. So I take out my phone and I type it in and I search it and pull up an image of this actor, and I show him a picture, and he's like, oh my gosh, yes, that's the person I'm talking about. Well, I got that visual image in my head from him. He was telling me about a movie I've never seen and an actor playing a role that I'm not familiar with because I've never seen this movie. Yet amazingly, I get this clear visual image of who he's talking about. So I say that's telepathy, ESP. It's happening more and more. Okay, and that brings me to the next thing I want to talk about, which is communication and connection with nature. And I found personally, it's easier for me to make this connection, telepathic connection, than to other people. And I believe that's because nature's already made the change in this new energy. We're the ones that are trying to find our way right now. So what I found is for probably the last 2 years, I've had a lot of telepathic connection to animals and nature, and it kind of all starts the same way. I feel a fluttering of energy, a palpitation of sorts in my heart space, and then I instantly feel a connection to this particular animal, or it can even be a tree or a plant. And then I'll make visual eye contact with it. Now, if it's an animal, a lot of times they'll be looking at me as well, and at that moment, it actually comes really close. It's a very powerful slow time event, and it actually comes really close to a time stop event, because at that moment, like when eyes meet, or when I look at that tree or that bush, I feel a tremendous amount of information being exchanged, and then usually ends the same way. The connection is just broken, and it's hard to say in real time the exact length of time. I would say it's probably about maybe 2 or 3 seconds for this whole event to take place. But I would say that because of such a powerful slow time event, I mean, from my perspective, it feels like a very powerful connection is made, and a tremendous amount of energy and information is exchanged. And I'm not really talking about like connections with personal pets, cats and dogs, but more of like connections with nature, like squirrel, bird, fish, the trees, the plants. I think that there's profound connections with our pets as well, but I think that's a different subject. I think the pets fall closer to the category of co-workers or family members or other humans, because we've already have a bond in place. So in essence, there's an ego barrier there, is what I'm trying to say. Whereas with nature, there's usually not. Okay, so I want to go. I'm just gonna move on now. I got a lot of stuff to get through here. Okay, super agility, super coordination, and what I'm gonna call super mimicry. Okay, and I've seen examples of this in sports, where a lot of these things that I'm going to talk about can easily be explained with sports. So I'm usually going to start there if there's a sports example. So in sports, you'll find like in basketball, a guy shoots and he feels that he's missed the shot. Whoops, and it's a perfect shot. You know, 3-pointer from 4-point range, perfect, nothing but net. You know, but he felt it was a terrible shot, right? Well, I would say that's an example of super agility, super coordination. He had the ability to make that shot, but often in his personal path, he stands in the way of his ability. So when that ability shows itself, it becomes a super coordination or a super agility. Often gives someone the ability to perform at a greater level than they previously had shown. Bowling, I've seen this in bowling. Guy, as soon as he releases the ball, says some profanity, oh, blank. And, he's upset with himself. Oh, I can't believe I just did that. And it's a perfect strike. Or darts, you throw it, bang, double bullseye, but unintentionally, right? So, how good would we be if we weren't, preventing that all the time? Obviously we have amazing skills that we don't, we're not comfortable with using them. So that's kind of why I'm putting this out here. Is we all need to be aware. This is going to be a common theme through this, which is that you've prevented yourself from accessing these abilities. Okay, and this brings me to muscle memory. Okay, I've seen it in the kitchen. I've watched my wife use a knife. It's unbelievable the super coordination that she has with knives, prepping, and it's obvious that she's not getting in her own way. She's just letting it all flow. And knife work, amazing. Typists, people that are amazing on the keyboard. It takes a super amount of coordination. Often they can some of these people can hold a conversation with you on a totally different subject and then type something entirely different. And I mean, that's an amazing ability. Okay, and we all have those abilities. We just have to get out of our own way. Okay, and that brings me to super luck. Okay, or what I like to call divine protection. You hear about this a lot too. It was a 1 in a million, right? But there you're talking to the guy, he's fine, right? This super luck is amazing too. You talk to somebody and they'll tell you, "Oh, I'm very lucky," right? I think that's one of the keys to having super luck. You need to believe you have super luck, okay? And then you need to get out of your own way and let that take place. I would say that if you're the type that says, "Oh, oh, please be there, please be there, please be there, please be there, please be there," odds are when you get there, it's not going to be there. Because the person that has super luck is going to say, "Oh, it's going to be there." Okay? Right? So there's a key difference right there. They believe they have super luck. They know it's going to be there. You're the other one. They have hope, but they don't believe. Okay, so you got to believe, right? That's another key point to a lot of these. You have to believe that you can do it, or you're not going to be able to do it. And that brings me to another point, which is you have to be focused too. Okay, you can't be thinking about what's going on. Did so and so message me back? What time is it? What am I doing after this? And you're not gonna find yourself in a super divine protection situation if you're scattered brained out there in a million different places. You're gonna miss your 1 in a million shot. You should have been a little more focused. Okay, so we're gonna move from there to divination. Okay, the path revealed. Rods, pendulums, tarot cards, the reading the smoke, tossing bones, seeing fortunes in the water are all examples of this. Sayings, old sayings like follow your heart, go with your gut. Okay, that's the ways that the path is revealed to you. Okay, these are forms of divination. I found out a long time ago that I had skill in this. I watched how to make divining rods. I watched a program on that when I was probably, I don't know. I think it was on public broadcasting, actually. I might have been 8 years old, 7 or 8 years old. Wow, I'm going to make some divining rods. Took a couple pieces of metal, bent them, tried to balance them the best I could, and started experimenting with them. I learned a lot. Found out that they're incredibly accurate. Then I later on experimented with tarot cards. My personal experience, tarot cards are profoundly accurate, and I believe now that it's probably a way for your higher self to directly communicate to you through the use of tarot cards. I know in ancient cultures, they used to smash turtle shells or throw down bones or use smoke or water. Anything that's in that unstable quantum state, right? Where it either may or may not go in one direction or the other, right? It has to be in flux. That everything in motion, everything's up in the air, right? Up in the air. Well, that's a good place to be. That's where the magic happens, okay? Alright, so we're going to move on. Changing our weight, okay? I believe that we're all capable of changing our weight relative to our surroundings now. I believe you can become light on your feet. I literally believe now, at this point in my journey, that being in love makes you lighter, okay? I believe that being happy, having happy thoughts can make you lighter. Any parent that has a baby is well aware that the baby can change how much it weighs. If the baby wants you to pick it up, it's light as a feather. If the baby wants you to leave it alone, you can't believe how heavy your baby is. Okay? Now that's the baby's mind changing its weight relative to its surroundings. We can all do this, okay? Which that brings me to another topic, which is how we can sense energy all around us now. Energy sense is at amazing heightened ability right now. People's empathy, people's ability to pick up on energies, you can pick up on nervous energies. You can pick up if this person behind the counter is trying to deceive you. You can instantly pick up on someone that you can tell if they're angry, if they're sad. It's an amazing amount of information that can be exchanged just by this energy awareness now, which we can sense danger, we can sense attention, now. How many times have you looked over and there's a police officer, right? There's a cop car right there. You're driving down the road, boom, there it is. We can sense attention. You're just going about your daily commute home. You're on a drive or on public transportation, and all of a sudden you can just tell that somebody's eyes are on you. You glance up, boom, eyes meet. That's your senses. You sense that now. You just know. You can feel it. You can feel Look, their attention went to you. Their energy flowed to you. You felt it. Okay, that's what happened. Mind over matter. Okay, we can all do this. It's not cold. You can believe it's not cold. Well, now you're not cold. It's not hot. You believe it's not hot. I call it belief and release, right? Because you can't. Once again, you can't. If you say, "I'm not cold. I'm not cold. I'm not cold. I'm not cold," this isn't gonna work. But if you just say, "It is not cold," and you believe it, then just release it. Go about what you were doing. Don't think about that anymore. And lo and behold, you won't be cold. Okay? You have to believe it and release it. All right. Now, brings me to another interesting thing. It's not heavy. Okay? I grew up in the country. I grew up on a farm. Oftentimes they would say, "Oh, you're country strong." Well, what does that mean? Well, I think it means that if I don't believe it's heavy, it's not heavy. Okay? Just like the baby that could change its weight, I think I can change things, attraction to the earth relative to my belief system. Okay? If I don't think it's heavy, it's not heavy. And I've seen people that have this ability, and it's off the chart. And it's a really amazing thing to witness. Which brings me to telekinesis. Can you literally move things with just your mind? Can you okay, because I can tell you right now that I'm country strong. If I can change someone's weight or something's weight relative to what I believe. If I don't believe it's heavy, I believe I can lift it. But I'm using my hands to lift it. Now, can we move things with just our mind? I would argue yes. Once again, I've seen evidence of this in sports. Specifically sports like golf or bowling, and we call it body English, and we all know somehow that this works. So for those of you that don't know, I'm going to try to explain. In essence, what happens is let's see, we'll use the game of golf. You hit the golf ball. Now, when the swing is over and the contact has been made, your job is basically done, except for your job of observation. So as you watch the flight of the ball, you put yourself in the ball's position from the ball's point of view. And if you do this correctly, you'll find that you start to move your body to try to control the flight of the golf ball. Body English. Now, why do we do that? Well, we do it because it works. Okay? It's kind of as simple as that. I've seen it in bowling. You release the ball, use a little body English, because you know that it was probably going to miss, but now with the body English, you just got enough of that pin. Everything, you got the result you were looking for. Okay? But you changed it with telekinesis. Okay, now that brings me to our body's connection to energy and flow, and specifically dance, rhythm, harmony, and the sense of flow, and how... Okay, I hear a lot of people saying, we have to all live in harmony. Well, I would put forth this. If you don't have rhythm, you're not going to be in harmony. Okay? So, let's start there first. And dance and rhythm can give you an amazing connection. And with that connection, you can really, really feel you can feel this energy. And with this energy, as we've discussed, there's amazing amount of abilities that we can use this for. So you set an intention for your dance, and you can dance it into you can dance it into being, right? You can use that. You can use that. You can use that. You can transform yourself through your dance. You can alter your future, and also I believe you can alter your past. But I think that's probably a different discussion. So, okay, now we're kind of coming to the end of what I wanted to discuss. So I'm gonna put a few other things out there. Deja vu, okay, and the Mandela effect. Okay, deja vu would be the feeling that you know, I've done this all before. Mandela effect would be you know, you feel the past has been changed. You remember it differently. What's the famous Mandela effect one? Mirror, mirror on the wall, or magic mirror on the wall, I believe. I remember it as a mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all, right? Apparently, they say that that's wrong now, but that's. I believe the past was changed. Okay, deja vu, I believe, is a case of us repeating. You're stuck in a repeating pattern. You have deja vu. I haven't felt deja vu in a very long time until just recently. I would say probably March 10th of 2019. Around there, I had deja vu. Before that, I hadn't had deja vu in years, because I always mark any deja vu event. Trying to tread a completely new path this time, and I don't want to repeat any old patterns. And deja vu to me is a sign of repeating an old pattern. Okay, let me check my notes here. Where are we at? I will also smell and taste as it relates to time travel. I believe that sometimes a particular smell or a particular taste can open a portal to the past, and I believe that you can. If someone was to explore that avenue, you could time travel using smell and taste as a facilitator to move your mind through a time portal. I think that there's a lot to be said for this saying it's a small world, these crazy synchronicities that are happening to us all the time, right? And I think that just like all these other abilities, if you're really aware and if you're really paying attention, you're gonna find that that magic is all around you as well. Also, I found that the ability to just, if you can stay in the now and just be present and just try not to let the mind fill itself with a bunch of busy chatter, and just take 10 minutes a day just for yourself, and just clear all that out, and try to just, I don't know, just breathe and just be and just listen. And then also just you have to, if you want to take advantage of this information, you have to stay focused. You have to have a emotional investment in it. You have to have a love for it. You have to feel you have to feel good, basically, is what it comes down to. You want to raise your frequency, do things that you love. You want to have a higher energy and a better perspective. All of these gifts are available to all of us. Okay? It's up to you. I can tell you that a steady diet of Cheetos and Mountain Dew probably isn't going to bring out the best in you. Okay, so that being said, that being said, um, I love you all. Thank you for your time. If any of this resonates with you, please hit the like, share, subscribe. It's been Matt from Quantum Trekkers. Thanks. Bye.